You didn't receive any email. Okay.
Even I didn't receive it, Karthik.
So what is your mail ID?
It's sama@ravikant@gmail.com.
I'm just pinging charges.
sama.ravikant@gmail.com. Yes, I send it to you. Yes, I had
But
it.
I'm sorry, Karthik.
Let me see.
And
Let me see.
yeah, even my email ID added to that, but I haven't received. Not this one. We haven't received a single email from from past long days. What you're sending us.
Okay, you are not
Like,
there. Okay. Okay. So these are all the emails I was sending. Below you
yeah,
can see
that's
that
what
it's
we
regarding
haven't.
networking protocols, AWS pre-tier and registration, virtualization types, images, common networking protocols, IP separating, Linux commands, EC2, VPC. So all I was okay. I'll add it to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I thought you were there in the loop.
yeah. Might be some problem. We haven't added. I think.
Sama.ravi. So who else? Sama, Ravikant and
Srikanth.page, you'll be finding one. Yes,
Srikanth.pace.
Srikanth.page. Yeah, yeah. Can you change the first letter of my email? It's displaying with the capital letter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter in mails.
That doesn't matter. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
I'll
not like
text
a
it.
case sensitive we had with mail while composing mail, the mail IDs.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So coming to
Yeah,
yesterday's
we
topic,
got it.
yeah. Coming to yesterday's topic, what we covered is how to create this virtual private cloud and what are all the how to assign how to calculate this LAN range. What are the differences between this class A, class B, and class C ranges, and what is subnetting? How we divide this complete LAN into multiple subnets and will attach. We call it like we associate these multiple subnets to availability zones of the region, and how to provide the internet for that complete VPC. It's like we have to create an internet gateway, and then we have to attach this internet gateway to the VPC. So we talked about those three concepts: creating VPC, creating subnets, creating internet gateway, and attaching the subnets to this availability zones, attaching the internet gateway to the virtual private cloud, the complete LAN VPC. So today, and we also spoke about the DHCP server. See, by default, when you create a VPC, automatically on the back end, this Amazon guy will create a DHCP server for you. It's not a physical server, it's a virtual conceptual server. So the Purpose of this DHCP is from whatever the loop, whatever the LAN range you have given for while creating the virtual private cloud, the private LAN range, from that LAN range, it will pick up IP addresses and it will allocate those IP addresses to the new launching servers automatically. It's not like when you are launching a server, you cannot say, I need particularly this private IP address. The DHCP server, it does that functionality. Okay. Next, that is what about the DHCP server. So, coming to elastic IPs. On the last discussions also, we talked about the different IPs while we are with the EC2 service. It's like for every server I said, we'll have two IPs. One is public and that is private. So elastic IPs is something related to public side. So while creating the or while launching the server on Amazon EC2 service with the help of EC2 service, while launching the while giving the parameters for launching the server, it will ask in which region you wanted to launch the server, in which availability zone you wanted to launch the server. Should I give the public IP for this server or only private IP to this server? Then there will specify give the public IP. So after giving the public IP, what happens when you turn off or power off the server, and after some time when you restart it or start it, so the IP address automatically get changed, the the public IP. So in order to escape from the scenarios, like you want a scenario where if Amazon guy has allocated some IP address, the public IP address to that instance, it should remain whether the same IP address should stick to that particular instance, whether it is in off or on position. In that scenarios, we'll go with elastic IPs. So this is what the elastic IP is. The elastic IPs are nothing but here we'll buy IP addresses from the Amazon guy and we'll attach these IP addresses to our instances. For that, he'll charge 250 rupees per month for each and every IP address. Now, next coming to access control list, network ACLs. Access control list are like, those are all the lists where we write whom should have what access, what should flow. It's like in the yesterday's discussion, I had drawn some diagram like LAN and WAN with gateways here. So we'll have LAN, we'll have the router here, the router or gateway, whatever it is. So here we'll have these ACL rules, what should allow, what should not. See, security groups also same concept. In security group, we write in and outbound rules, inbound and outbound. So security groups are applicable only on instances. For every server we'll have security groups. But this access control list are completely different. These are applicable on the entire LAN. So access control list deals with LAN. Security groups deals with one server. Or you can attach for one security group multiple servers to it. Okay, let us assume you had 4 to 5 web servers, or application servers or database servers. For all the servers you wanted to maintain a common firewall, common security group. Yes, you can do that. So security groups is completely related to, and it is like an external firewall for only the instances. Access control list is like a firewall for complete LAN. So here in this access control list, if you want, you can deny one IP address, or if you want, you can deny the range of some IP addresses to enter into your LAN. It's like sometime what happens, let us assume you hosted one website on Amazon Web Services and you're serving it to the clients. So basically what happens, there are some hackers in the world. They'll try to hack the data, they'll try to dig, or they'll try to crash your website. On the scenarios, we have to enable the monitoring on the server and we have to see what happens when somebody hacker tries to hack your PC. What he basically does is he'll continuously sends an unlimited requested to your server, because by sending this unlimited requested unknown requests to your server, what happens, your server's processor will get very busy handling those requests. Then your utilization of the server will get high. After the utilization of your server, after making your server's processor to maximum utilization level, then he'll try to hack that server, the website or something. So by giving up a large number of queries to your server, he'll make the query handler or the application that handles all this query, he'll make that application to get crash, and then he tries to hack the server. So this is what one of the scenario that generally happens. So on that scenarios, let us assume you found that somebody is hitting a unknown and unwanted traffic to your server. Then what you will do, you have to restrict him, not with security groups. See, even security group sits on the server. Blocking the security group also, it's recommended, but what happens, even a security group is something relying on the server, right? So no, there is a relationship between the server and the security group. Blocking this heavy load consumes the server's CPU. So in order to escape that server CPU utilization, we have to block it at the gateway only, at this router only. There in the access control list, you can specify that, oh, some IP from China, he's hitting continuously to my server, I'll block it. I'll deny his whatever the request he'll send for this 24 hours or something. Like that, we can write the in and out access rules on our complete LAN. It's like whom should have access by using this ACL rules. And next, coming to VPN connections. So generally what happens, so it's good that most of the people are saying, okay, even I was saying it's better if we migrate our complete entire on-premises data center to cloud, because we'll get benefit through price, we'll get benefit through human effort and the time. Okay, so it's like you had another data center on cloud, and as well as you're maintaining one data center at your on-premises. So all the developers will work from your off-premises, on-premises, my offices flow, and you're maintaining a data center with Amazon guy. So how should they access all the resources? I'll say through internet. So the second question comes is, does the internet is secure? Whatever the request I sends, whatever the developers after writing the code in his PC, he has to commit to the centralized repository. You're saying on Amazon Web Services, we had a centralized repository service. We call that service as code commit. So I have to push all my code through the internet to that server, which is sitting in the Singapore or Ireland. So you may get, how security is that? How secure is that? So I'll answer that. To overcome this kind of escapes, we had a concept called tunneling, virtual private networks. Generally what it does is, let me explain you. So it's like, let us assume your office has one LAN, and similarly cloud has one LAN that we create in VPC, right? That is what the LAN. So you have to make a separate tunnel between your on-premises, your office LAN, and the AWS LAN. Consider these are the two LANs. One is on-premises, one is cloud AWS. Okay, so this is what the internet, the between that sits between your on-premises and the cloud. So what we'll do, so every LAN, as I said, will have a gateway device, right? This is what the gateway. This is what the gateway. So whatever the gateway we had at our on premises, at our offices, we'll call that gateway as, the Amazon guy will call that gateway as customer gateway. So we are customers to him, right? So he'll call that gateway as customer gateway. And whatever the gateway he had with him, he'll call that gateway as virtual private gateway. He'll call it as virtual private gateway. So we'll establish a connection, safe and secure connection between these both gateways, that, and we call that connection as VPN connection, virtual private network connection. We call that connection as VPN, virtual private network connection. So what happens whenever the guy is sitting from here, maybe you had a multiple laptops or desktops, wants to communicate with the server sitting on the cloud. So it is not like scenario where your request goes through the internet and reaches this cloud. So the request, whatever the request, the queries, the data transmission you do with this cloud AWS will go via this VIA, via this secure tunnel with encrypted. So what it will do, it will encrypt this VPN tunnels. What they'll do, whatever the data that passes through this both gateways passes through this VPN tunnel to reach the both LANs, it will encrypt the data. It will hide the real data and it will encrypt the data with some encryption keys. So do you know the concept of cryptography, guys? Anybody? I hope you may have read this in your computers graduations or something. Concept of cryptography. Arun,
Yeah,
so do you know the concept of cryptography?
I have listened about it, but I'm not remember.
Okay, maybe you have gone through it in your graduations.
Yeah, idea, but
Yeah, but let me explain you further now. The concept of cryptography is, by using the cryptography concept only, we'll encrypt the data. Let me tell you, we'll stop this, whatever the scenario we are describing here, and we'll go to this cryptography concept. See what happens in cryptography concept. Let us assume you had a client here. Let us assume your client PC, you're sitting at your home, and you had some server where some website is hosted. So you wanted to call this website from your browser. What you'll do, you'll open your browser and you'll type www.xyz.com. So whatever the website that hosted here has to serve to your client. So okay, let us assume for time being that website is some bank website. You wanted to make a transactions. So there is a chance of whatever the request that hits from this client PC to server has to pass throughout the internet. So it has to cross all the internet and it has to reach the server. Again, it has to load that server content to your client browser. So there is a chance of hackers who will sit on the internet. They'll monitor you whether who is sending what requested. Oh, I'll hack it. So whenever your data is going through, he'll just hack it and he'll open the data and he can see like your passwords, login passwords, transactions and everything. In order to escape these scenarios, we had a concept called cryptography. What happens in the cryptography concept, while sending your data, you'll encrypt the data. It's like in every server, we'll have an key called SSL key. We call the full form of SSL is secure socket layer. After installing the web server on the server, after deploying the website on the server, you'll make this server to serve to the clients via secure. We call how secure, like normally what happens, how the website serves through a protocol called HTTP, right? HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Right away, this website is serving through HTTP protocol. So this is not secure website. Okay, whatever the Amazon, see here you can see HTTPS. When I click on this lock key, the lock key indicates this site is very secure, and whatever the data you send through this site is encrypted on the internet. You'll have a certification also. Click on this details. So it's a valid certification and secure TLS connection. It is very secure connection. For every certification there is some time for that certification. Certification is for 1 year. For every year we have to renew that certificate. It's like not like I'll create my certificate and I'll keep it in my server. You have to purchase those SSL certificates with other vendors in the market. There are some vendors in the market like Rapid SSL, Cementel. Those people provide these SSL certificates for your websites. We have to purchase that SSL certificates, that keys we call it as, and we have to install that keys in our server. Then only our server encrypts the data from client to server, whatever the data transmission occurs. Okay, so after purchasing that SSL certificate from the vendor, you have to install that SSL certificate. So let us assume you purchase the SSL certificate and you install that SSL certificate in your server. Now the server starts serving the website to the clients by using protocol called not HTTPS, by using a protocol HTTPS. S stands for secure, Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. So whatever the data you transmit, so generally what happens on the back end, this server will see, it's like a scenario, let me tell you. Client server. So first what you'll do, generally you'll open your browser, you'll type www.xyz.com. So the request goes to the server. Then server what it does, it takes the request. It's like first, before sending the request, first this client PC will ping to the server whether the server is available or not. After that what happens, oh the server is available. So then it sends a request to the server saying that I want some website from you. His website is really hosted on you. Then server replies that yes, website is really hosted on me. You send me the website. Then what happens? He'll type that www.xyz.com information, right? The request, whatever he's sending, he'll make a connection with the website. So a connection is established. So this server return backs the request with the website. So after return back the website, what happens in your browser? The website will get loaded. Now let us assume the website is about some bank website. Now what you have to do? You have to enter your username and the password. So you're giving some data. So you entered some data and you want to send this data to the server so that the server can authenticate into his backend servers and it will pull all your bank details and it will serve the bank details to you. So here the security comes into scenario. So what happens? The server will share a key with you. That key we call it as public key. After the first request you send to the server please load give me your website. So it will load that website into your browser. Along with the website it will send a private key with you. Private key is the public key. Public key is open to the world. Anybody can, whoever the request that website, they'll get the public key. So After that, they'll enter the username and password. So what it does, this public key, with the help of this public key will encrypt your data. And after sending this encryption data throughout the internet to your server, so server will have a private key. It will have his own private key. Until unless this private key is there, this data cannot unlock. So we use this private key to decrypt the data. Okay, public key is encrypting the data, private key is decrypting the data. So private key will be with the server and the public key with all the world. So this is how the encryption occurs. Even though the hacker hacks the information while the data is flowing, he don't have the private key. Whatever the data he'll get, that is encrypted with the public key. If he opens the text file, if he opens the data in a file, he'll get XYZ, some kind of unknown formatted data. He'll see that the data is not in an arranged read text format. Until unless he has the private key, then only he can open the data, decrypt the data. So where is the private key? Only we'll have the private key with the server. So this is how the secure transaction occurs with the help of the concept called cryptography. This is nothing but cryptography. Guys, any doubts on the cryptography concept? Anyone? Yes? So it's like we'll establish a secure tunnel. So whatever the data we flow between our on-premises to cloud, the data will flow via this encrypted. So backend what he's using, we don't know. Both gateways will use this public and private keys. Yes, they use the public and private key and they use the cryptography concept. Okay, so we'll see in a real scenario how we make this VPN connections between the two LANs, how to create this customer gateway, how to create this private virtual private gateway. Generally what happens, customer gateway create చేసేటప్పుడు we have to, where we'll create this customer gateway, we'll create in the Amazon Web Services. For creating this customer gateway, first we have to provide some information like what is the on-premises or off another LAN IP range enti, what is the LAN IP range, what is the IP address of WAN side, gateway WAN side IP address enti, and LAN enti, a LAN range enti. This details contains everything in with customer gateway. Coming to virtual private gateway, it will have what is the WAN IP address of this gateway and what is the LAN IP address, LAN range of this LAN. These details are with virtual private gateway. So this VPN tunnel knows both these details. After establishing connection, it knows both these details. What is the virtual private gateway WAN IP side, WAN IP, and what is the customer gateway WAN IP, internet side facing IP. What is the virtual private gateway, Amazon virtual private gateway LAN range, what is the LAN range of on-premises office. So knowing this both information, this VPN tunnel helps in transmitting the data securely by encrypting it on both WAN IPs, EWAN IP key, EWAN IP key transfer చేస్తాం. So we'll see how to create that and everything. So first what we have to do, first we have to, in order to create a VPN connection, first we have to create a customer gateway, right? Right now we are with Amazon Web Services console, okay, at Singapore region. Let's shift to Mumbai region or something region. Okay, we'll stay with Singapore region. I'll zoom this console. Okay. So what we'll do, in order to make this a VPN tunnel, we'll go to customer gateway. Under the customer gateway, first we have to create the customer gateway. Right now, for my account, this is what guys, this is what the account, what my office is given to me. I was showcasing it to you because I don't have the other accounts, and Here we can see a lot of resources are running, so that you'll understand in a very better concepts with the real time. That's the reason I chosen this account for this classes. See, for my office, I had 3 locations, and the 3 locations from my office is there. I had a data center at my India office. I had a data center at my UK office. UK local branch undi. I had a data center with cloud Amazon Web Services at Singapore. Okay, so the scenario is like that. India LAN, UK LAN, and Singapore LAN. So in order to communicate this all the LANs, we have to establish a secure VPN tunnels between these LANs, right? Okay. Then only whatever the computers that are in the LAN can communicate with other computers that are in other offices, regions, LANs, devices through this VPN secure connection. So it's like creating a customer gateway. So right away we are with Singapore. Okay. So where you wanted to create a gateway, customer gateway through your on-premises office. Okay. Name some name to that on-premises office. Maybe assume that you had office at India. I'll name it as India office. So this is a customer gateway of the India office. So it's like routing. Routing is nothing but here. If you keep the dynamic, what it does, it dynamically, after keeping the dynamic and providing the WAN side IP of your on-premises gateway. అంటే మీ ఆఫీస్లో ఒక రౌటర్ ఉంటుంది కదండి, ఆ రౌటర్కి WAN side ఒక IP address ఉంటుంది కదా. As I said, you can find your WAN IP by entering into the browser. ఇప్పుడు మీ ఇంటి హోమ్ ల్యాన్లో కూడా ఒక WAN IP ఉంటుందండి. You can find it by entering the my IP. This is what my home router's WAN side IP, public IP. So here we have to provide similarly our office's WAN IP. For my scenario, I'll provide my home's WAN IP address. Control C. Next, if you keep that dynamic, what happens? It will dynamically pings to your router. Router కి ఒక ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ వస్తుందండి. I want to make a VPN tunnel connection with you. So what is your, I came to know that your WAN IP is this. We provided that information. So it will ask you, what is your LAN range? నీ రౌటర్ వెనకాల నీ ల్యాన్లో ఉన్న ఆ LAN రేంజ్ ఎంత అని ఒక రిక్వెస్ట్ పంపిస్తుంది. So if your router is willing to share that information with you, with this device, this customer gateway device, or sorry, this AWS guy, then it will share. If not, he won't share. And that scenario is what you have to do. You have to go with static. And after creating this customer gateway, for this we have to provide all the customer gateway LAN range information statically. So always it's not like everybody goes with static only. So this customer gateway is something, it has a name tag for our remembrance, and routing principle, how do you want to route the traffic between dynamically or statically, and the IP address of your WAN side offices or whatever the another LAN. So yes, create, by clicking on the create, it will create a customer gateway. Okay, I'll create it. So we got an customer gateway created. See, for even for this customer gateway, he is giving a unique ID. Amazon guy is giving a CGW, stands for customer gateway. He is providing a unique ID for that customer gateway for his remembrance. For my remembrance, I given some name, Indian office, and it is in the available state. So second, we have to attach this customer gateway to one of the VPC. So it's like, so we created a customer gateway. Now next we have to create a virtual private gateways. So it's like we'll create a virtual private gateway. So this is the information about our our cloud side gateway information. Create one virtual private gateway. Let us say Singapore gateway. Yes, create. It created a Singapore gateway. Now we have to attach this gateway to our LAN, right? In cloud, now Singapore region low, maybe I had multiple LANs, multiple VPCs. To which VPC, to which LAN you wanted to attach this gateway, virtual private gateway. Right click, attach to VPC. So now Singapore low, I had this many LANs. So we can choose one virtual ఏదో ఒక LAN choose చేసుకొని మీ scenario choose whatever the LAN you are wanted to making this secure tunnel. And you have to attach it by clicking on this yes, attach it, will attach it. So after attaching, let me tell you what I did. I had an office at Singapore, so I created a virtual private gateway in Singapore and attached it to one of the VPC, first VPC. No, so I got let me draw a diagram for you for easy understanding. India, AWS, cloud, region, Singapore. Let us take. So we created a customer gateway. We created a virtual private gateway, and we have to attach this virtual private gateway to one of the LANs in the Singapore region లో 2 availability zones ఉంటాయండి. Availability zone 1A, 1B, and we'll have a multiple VPCs, right? ఎన్నైనా VPCs create చేసుకోవచ్చు. To which VPC you wanted to attach this customer gateway, virtual private gateway. So you attach it. So let us, we have attached it to some VPC. We'll call it as default VPC or the first VPC. Next, it's time to create this VPN tunnel, right? We'll go here, scroll down, go for VPN connections, and here you'll create a VPN connection. By clicking on this create VPN connection, it's like you can write name tag for your remembrance, VPN for India to Singapore. So where do you want to create this VPN tunnel? To which gateways you wanted to create this VPN tunnel? So I want to create this VPN tunnel between this India customer gateway and virtual private customer gateway. So what are those gateways? Unique IDs. So I had this many VPN connections, virtual private gateways. So let us assume whatever, now I created Singapore gateway, right? So I'll choose Singapore gateway. And what is the customer gateway? Is it existing one, or do you want to create a new customer gateway? No, already I created a customer gateway, right? So I'll go for what is the customer gateway? Indian office. So India office. So I wanted to make a VPN connection between this Singapore gateway and Indian office gateway. So what is the routing options? Dynamically, if I create a gateway, dynamically the traffic has to flow between these two gateways? No. They have to know what is their IP ranges. So here it is asking what is the static IP? It's like what is your LAN range? So this we are creating this gateway at Amazon, no? So Amazon knows that what is his LAN range behind his virtual private gateway. He knows this VPC details and everything because we attached this VPC to this virtual gateway. But he don't know, we created a customer gateway, but he don't know behind this customer gateway what is the LAN range and everything. So we have to give that LAN range to him. while creating VPN connection. Here I'll say, okay, in my home, my LAN range is 192.168.0.1/24 and create. Then automatically it creates a VPN connection. See, I'm not creating here because he charges a huge amount for that, for this VPN connection. It is not comes under free tier. Okay. So after that, similarly like this, a tunnel will be established. And you can see the tunnel status at here. So for even for this tunnel, he is providing an unique ID, and for this tunnel, one side we had a customer virtual guide cloud side gateway, and the cloud side gateway unique ID is this, and customer side gateway unique ID is this, and cloud side LAN range is this, and customer side LAN range is not showcasing here, but while creating we have given right under 192.168. So next, coming to tunnel details. What is the tunnel status? It is created and it is available. So is the connection between these two tunnels, these two LANs is established or not? We can see from this tunnel details here. Under the tunnel details, see, I can see the connection up. The status is up. Right away I had a connection between the Singapore and my office. Sorry, this is a connection between Singapore and my UK office. This is a connection between my Singapore and India office. Why I created two? Because for my India office I had two internets, Airtel and Beam andi. Airtel down aithe Beam up, Beam nunchi tana connection establish avutundi. For that scenarios I created a failover laga. Okay. Similarly, even for this guys also, for every connection he is giving you two WAN IPs. Oka WAN fail avute inko WAN nunchi connection serve avutundi. For that reason. Okay. And static routes. This is what the LAN range of my customer, my India office. So ఇందాక మనం 192.168 while going for the creation of this VPN connection we entered right, that we can see here. నేను ఇక్కడ కనిపించలేదు, ఇక్కడ చూపించలేదు అన్న, but here it is showing the static routing details. This is how we'll make a connection between these multiple LANs. I mean to say VPN connection, a secure connection between my cloud AWS and my office AWS. This is all whatever the information we have given with Amazon. So how come my home or my office gateway knows this the information? Any information with cloud లోనే ఇచ్చి కనెక్షన్ అవుతుందని చెప్తున్నారు. The thing is that after creating this VPN connection, you have to download the configuration file of this VPN connection. Here it is. Download the configuration file. So ఇక్కడ ఏమి ఇస్తుందంటే ఫస్ట్ ఇట్ ఆస్క్ మీ హోమ్ సైడ్, మీ ఆఫీస్ సైడ్ ఉన్న firewall device, a gateway device company ఏంటి? There are some top companies in the market: Cisco, FortiGate, Microsoft, Yamaha, Palo Alto Networks. ఇవన్నీ different companies, they will provide the gateways అండి. సో లేదు, ఆ కంపెనీ లేదు, మీ గేట్వేలో ఉన్న కంపెనీ ఇక్కడ లేదు. Then go for generic. Generic is nothing but public. Open platform generic, download configuration details, open that configuration file. Let me open with where is that? Here is that. Right click. Sorry, right click. Open with Notepad. Okay. Amazon Web Services Virtual Private Cloud VPN connection configuration details. So you are making a connection between this VPN ID and this customer ID, unique ID that Amazon guy is provided. Okay. So the key నేను చెప్పాను కదా, both sides will share the keys అని, ఆ key ఇది. So the key is, this is pre-shared key. We have to enter this key in our customer gateway so that our customer gateway encrypts the data. Okay, this is what the configuration depends upon your device. For my device, let me directly log into my device and I'll even showcase that for you. So what I'll do, first let me log into my office LAN by using this VPN connection. And ఇందాక నేను చెప్పాను కదండి, whatever the VPN connection I said, this is what the VPN connection, a secure connection between LAN to LAN, right? Between the two LANs, cloud and on-premises. There is another type of VPN connection. Normally two types of VPN connection ఉంటాయండి. One is LAN to LAN, other is LAN to, we'll call it as WAN devices or WAN to client. For example, మీరు వింటుంటారు ఆఫీసెస్లో, I'll work from home, I'll work from home, I'll work from home. Guy, if you work from home, how will you access all the resources of office? అంటే that can be possible, this the second type, LAN to client. We'll call that VPN connection types as global VPN. అంటే యాక్చువల్గా నా హోమ్ రౌటర్ నాకు ఇచ్చిన ఐపీ అడ్రస్ ఏంటి అంటే, open the command prompt cmd ipconfig. By entering this command, I'll know what is my home router is given my IP address to me. సో నేను వైఫై నుంచి కనెక్ట్ అయ్యాను, నా హోమ్ రౌటర్ నాకు వచ్చేసి 192.168.1.7 అని ఒక ఐపీ అడ్రస్ ఇచ్చిందండి నా పీసీకి. అండ్ మై హోమ్ రౌటర్స్ ఐపీ అడ్రస్ ఈస్ 192.168.1.1 LAN side IP address. And my home routers WAN side IP address is this is. It's like a scenario. This is my home. I had a router. So this is my device laptop. So for my laptop it given an IP address of 192.168.0.7. సో WAN side ఇది ఒక డివైసే కదా, LAN side దానికి ఒక IP అడ్రస్ ఉంటుంది రౌటర్ కూడా, అది 192.168.0.1, ద ఫస్ట్ IP ఆఫ్ ద LAN. దీని WAN side ఒక IP అడ్రస్ ఉంది ఇంటర్నెట్ రావడానికి, ఐఎస్పీ ఒకటి ఇచ్చిపోతాడు, ఆ IP అడ్రస్ వచ్చి వీ కాల్ దట్ యాజ్ WAN side IP. WAN side IP, this is LAN side IP. So whatever the WAN side IP of my router is, my devices లోపల LAN లో కనెక్ట్ అయిన అన్ని డివైసెస్ కి సేమ్ అదే WAN IP ఉంటుంది. సో ఎవ్రీ డివైస్ ఆల్సో విల్ హ్యావ్ WAN IP అండ్ LAN IP. LAN IP మేబీ మారుతూ ఉంటుంది, ఒకరికి 192.168.0.6 ఉంటే ఒకరికి 7 ఉంటుంది, ఒకరికి 8 ఉంటుంది, ఒకరికి 9 ఉంటుంది, కానీ అందరి WAN IP is సేమ్, a router WAN IP. You got it? Guys, have been telling the class from the past half an hour. Any doubts on you? Please acknowledge me. Bhavin, any doubts on this? Kishore, Ravi, Srikanth?
No, actually, no.
No doubts.
That's clear.
It's clear. Upender, any doubts? Upender, you can unmute your mic and you can answer me. Just you can unmute your mic by clicking on the green color button, the mic option you see. Kishore, any doubts from your side? You're fine, okay. And who is this Dart? Somebody named it as Dart.
Yeah, me, Naveen.
Yeah, you Naveen. Okay, please be enter your name from tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Any doubts, Naveen, you had?
No. Okay.
Okay, we'll continue. So this is what my LAN. Similarly, For every your devices will have your private IPs and the public IPs, WAN IP, LAN IP. So where are we? We are with here, right? So on our device. So why I was telling this types of VPN connection, LAN to LAN, LAN to VPN. Oh, I wanted to make my VPN, my laptop to make VPN connection with my office LAN. That's the reason I told you. So how we'll do that? First, we have to install some software. We call that global VPN software. I had mine in my laptop. Here it is. Yes, ఏంటి అంటే నా ఆఫీస్లో ఉన్న గేట్వే నా డివైస్ ఏంటి అంటే సోనిక్ వాల్ అండి. సోనిక్ వాల్ ఇస్ ఎ కంపెనీ. రీసెంట్లీ డెల్ అక్వైర్డ్ దట్ కంపెనీ సోనిక్ వాల్. ఓకే, అందుకే వాడు ఎస్ అని పెట్టాడు సాఫ్ట్వేర్కి. I'll open this. No. See, this is what my IP address of WAN set. నా ఆఫీస్ WAN set ఉన్న IP address గేట్వేకి. సో I need to provide some credentials to enter it. అక్కడ ల్యాన్ టు ల్యాన్కి క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ ఏంటి? ఆ ప్రీషేడ్ కీ ఉంది కదా, దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ ద క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ ఫర్ మేకింగ్ ఏ కనెక్షన్ విత్ ల్యాన్ టు ల్యాన్. ఈ కీ ఉంది కదా, దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ ద కీ. హియర్ మై కేస్ ఐ హ్యావ్ మై ఓన్ క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ because this user is created from my office gateway device, but this VPN connection is created from Amazon guy's gateway device. That's the reason he keep it at some PXJJJJ like that. So it is connecting. Connect చేసి ఏం వస్తుందంటే it will acquire another IP address. See, here you can see I got a new IP address 172.16.20.110. So from my office LAN, it given one of the IP address to my laptop so that I can communicate with other IP addresses, other servers in the office. And he'll calling that address as virtual IP address because through this virtual gateway, virtual VPN connection, he has given that IP address, right? Physical ga nenu office lo lenu, but from my home I was making a virtual connection with my office LAN. That's the reason he'll calling it as virtual IP address. Whenever I talk with other devices, other resources on the office, it will make a communication through this IP. 20.110 నుంచి కమ్యూనికేషన్ అవుతుంది. What is the request? Send me the request like that. Okay. So ఇప్పుడు command prompt లో open చేసి if you type the ipconfig command, you'll see another, apart from this 192.168, you'll see another ipconfig. See 172.16. Apart from this 192.168.2.1 through Wi-Fi, I got another adapter infotechsolutions.com VPN connection ఒక IP address వచ్చింది, అదే 172.16.20.110. So this is how we'll make the connections between the offices and we'll start working with it. So I can enter into this. I wanted to enter into my office gateway and I wanted to showcase you the tunnel configurations, but unfortunately they have blocked that for VPN connections. Until unless I was in my office, I cannot open my gateway's console part. So I wanted to show that. Sorry guys, I don't show, but I can see. I'll tell you. After entering into that your on-premises or home's router, you have to provide this information, this private key and the WAN IP of WAN set IP address of this Amazon AWS gateway. This is 183.82.3.42 is my office WAN set, and this is Amazon WAN set WAN IP address. Okay, like this you have to make a VPN connection between two LANs. Any doubts, guys, on this topic? After that, you can see the status of the tunnel from here, either it is up or down. If you made a secure connection, here in the status you'll see it is up. If you did any changes, some wrong changes in the configuration, or you entered the wrong pre-shared key, then you'll see the tunnel details here as down. Or even if right now the connection is up, if my office WAN is down, ISP is down, then we'll see the status as down. So right now I can see that I had a problem with my office Airtel ISP. So that's the reason the status is down. Let me rectify it. This is what real-time scenarios. I log into my so they are not providing me the access for this to do it device configurations from outside world. Okay. After logging into, we have to rectify. We have to see whether what happens, whether the ISP is down. Then we have to raise a ticket to the ISP. We have to call to the ISP, internet guy, your internet is down. Resolve the issue. They'll resolve the issue. After that, we'll see the status is up and running. Okay. So any doubts? So we talked about this customer gateway, virtual private gateway, VPN connections. Now it's about network ACLs. So for every VPC, we'll have a ACL. Similarly, for all the VPCs, I had ACLs. These are all the ACLs. Okay. For every ACL, we'll have in and outbound rules, similar to security groups. And for every VPC, I said we'll divide the VPC into subnets, right? And we'll assign the subnets to availability zones. Here, for this VPC, we have to associate. I have 4 subnets అండి. And I associated the subnet. సింగపూర్లో 2 availability zones ఉన్నాయి కదా. ఫస్ట్ 2 సబ్నెట్స్ వచ్చేసి ఒక అవైలబిలిటీ జోన్కి అసైన్ చేశాను. సెకండ్ 2 సబ్నెట్స్ వచ్చేసి ఇంకో అవైలబిలిటీ జోన్కి అసైన్ చేశాను. Here, what I did for this VPC, I allowed all the traffic to my LAN. I allowed all the traffic inbound from internet to my LAN, and I allowed all the traffic of my LAN. అంటే by default అన్ని allow చేస్తాము. If you found them some suspected activity from one of the IP address, you can block it. ఎలా బ్లాక్ చేస్తారంటే edit, write a new rule. ఆ రూల్ నెంబర్ ఏదో ఒకటి పెట్టండి. Let us say we'll call this rule number as 102. So you wanted to block some IP address. All traffic, provide the IP address. I wanted to block some IP address like 86.78.3.42 and deny everything /32. What's happening, buddy? So whatever the request come to this LAN, this particular VPC 172.16.40.0/21 from internet, it will block this IP address. Whatever the request, తను ఏ రిక్వెస్ట్ తీసుకోవాలన్నా మన గేట్వే ఆ IP address నుంచి వచ్చే ప్రతి రిక్వెస్ట్ ని it will deny. Like that we can add the access rules, allow and deny access rules. But be sure first you'll allow everything. and if you found by default అన్ని allow పెడతాము with the access rules. If you found something unwanted suspicious activities from some of the IP ranges, you'll block it. But when it comes to security groups, by default you'll block everything and you'll allow only you'll block everything and you'll allow only whatever you wanted to serve to the world. Websites ki unknown request ni anni first ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే website లో whatever the input you come, I'll block everything because I want only traffic. I was serving a website. I wanted to serve a website to the clients through port number 80 or port number 443. 80 అంటే HTTP అండి, 443 అంటే HTTPS అండి. So I'll allow only that requested. Whoever ప్రపంచంలో ఎవరన్నా అవ్వండి who wanted to hit my web server, if the request comes from anybody with port numbers 80 or 443, I'll allow only that requesters and I'll serve the website for them. And I don't allow other requests. Like if you want to SSH, if you want to log into my server, I don't allow this RDP connection protocol. Like that, we'll write the rules with security groups. And again, last time while we are creating security group, we added a rule for authentication, this RDP for Windows servers. If it is Linux, you'll allow SSH. So that's what about this complete VPC concept and network ACLs rules. So from this VPC dashboard, you can see in this Amazon region, Singapore region, how many VPCs I had, how many subnets I created for all the VPCs, how many access control lists. Every LAN will have one ACLs. For 7 VPCs, I'll have 7 access control lists. How many running instances are on this LANs? Complete region low, 11 running instances. Maybe some instances are with one VPC, some instances are with other VPC. And how many internet gateways? 7 VPCs ki only I had 6 internet gateways. Okay, I created VPCs, I want to delete it. So how to delete that? VPN. So click on it, right click, delete virtual private gateway. Just delete, he'll delete it. Deleted. After some time it will go from this UI, what you're seeing. Right away it is deleted. Customer gateway, it is available. Right click, delete customer gateway. Yes, delete. Deleted. And what else we created? And also on the last class we created VPC in Mumbai region, right? Your VPCs. So this is my first VPC and yesterday created some. I want to delete it. Right click, delete VPC. So it will pop up message. It is saying that if you delete this VPC, whatever the subnets you created under this VPC, whatever the internet gateway that is attached to this VPC, whatever the route tables that are with this VPC, access control rules I have written for this VPC, VPN connections, if VPN connections are there, and everything will get deleted. Yes, go ahead and delete it. So it is deleting backend లో ఫస్ట్ సెక్యూరిటీ గ్రూప్స్ డిలీట్ చేస్తుంది, నెక్స్ట్ సబ్నెట్స్ డిలీట్ చేస్తుంది, నెక్స్ట్ VPC డిలీట్ చేసింది. See how fast we can create a LAN and we can divide that LAN, and we are doing this. Not more for every action. Is it taking more than 1 minute? No. అదే రియల్ ఆఫీసెస్లో కొన్ని రోజులు కొంతమంది కూర్చొని ప్లగ్గులు కొట్టుకుంటూ, ల్యాన్లు గుంజుకుంటూ, వైర్లు గుంజుకుంటూ, సర్వర్లు పెట్టుకొని వాటికి ఇంటర్నెట్ ఐఎస్పి కాల్ చేసి వాడి ఇంటర్నెట్ కేబుల్ గురించి ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి దిస్ ఈస్ ఆల్ ద ట్రెడిషనల్ అప్రోచ్. ఇట్ టేక్స్ సమ్ మంత్స్ టైమ్ అండి. With cloud computing, see how fast you are doing that. That's the reason we are calling this cloud computing as a revolutionary change in IT. 1990s లో స్టార్ట్ అయింది ఐటీ ఇవన్నీ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ కంపెనీస్. ఫ్రమ్ 1990s to 2000 అదంతా ఒక ట్రెడిషనల్ అప్రోచ్. డేటా సెంటర్ మెయింటైన్ చేయడం అది ఒక బూమ్ అవుతే దిస్ క్లౌడ్ కంప్యూటింగ్ చేంజ్ ద కంప్లీట్ అప్రోచ్ ఆఫ్ మెయింటైనింగ్ ద ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్, డేటా సెంటర్స్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ 2000. యాక్చువల్ 2006 నుంచి. The first guy in the market who introduced the cloud computing as a service ante Amazon అండి. It's been 10 years. 4 months back 10 years అయింది. Recently he launched a new data center in our India, Mumbai. That is the 13th data center he has with us. Okay, no other competitor in the market is not providing the services of what AWS is offering to 50%. Any services AWS is offering. That's the reason most of the companies are migrating their data centers with Amazon Web Services. So any doubts? It's been more than an hour. Guys, any doubts on this session? Naveen, any doubts? It's like I have to call everybody's name and I have to take their feedback.
No.
No.
No, Karthik. Yeah,
No.
everything is clear.
Okay, thank you, Bhavin. Kishore and Ravi, what about you?
No, Karthik, that's fine.
Okay, Ravi. And Srikanth and Srinivas?
Yeah, it's clear cut.
Okay, thank you, Srikanth. What about you, Srinivas? Srinivas, ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? Any doubts you had? Srinivas always replies through chat. No, Karthik. And Upender, any doubts you had? All clear. He also through chat. Okay, very good. Thank you, guys. We'll end this class for here today, and I'll share you the documentation of this. Sorry, I already shared you the documentation, and some people have missed out. For them, I'll share you again. Please go through the documentation. See, ఎంత సింపుల్గా ఉంటుందంటే documentation. This is easy to user guide, right? Let me open you this documentation. AWS VPC documentation. You can Google it and you can find it. So open it in PDF. You'll open user guide. 221 pages ఉందండి ఇది. విత్ డయాగ్రామ్స్. ఒక రీజియన్ ఉంటుంది. అమెజాన్ వెబ్ సర్వీసెస్ రీజియన్లో విల్ హ్యావ్ మల్టిపుల్ అవైలబిలిటీ జోన్స్. చూసారు ఇక్కడ, దిస్ ఈస్ AWS. ద ఫస్ట్ బౌండరీ ఈజ్ AWS. అమాంగ్ AWS హీ హాస్ చూజన్ సమ్ రీజియన్. అక్కడ రీజియన్ పేరు చెప్పలేదు, సింగపూర్, ఐర్లాండ్ అని. హీ కాల్డ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ రీజియన్. ఆన్ ఎవ్రీ రీజియన్ హీ హ్యాస్ మల్టిపుల్ అవైలబిలిటీ జోన్స్ అని చెప్పాను కదా, మినిమం 2 జోన్స్ ఉంటాయి. అందుకే 2 అవైలబిలిటీ జోన్స్ తీసుకున్నాడు, ఈ ఆరెంజ్ కలర్ లైన్స్. ఓకే, availability zone 1, availability zone A, availability zone. On availability zone he has created subnets, 2 subnets. ఆ 2 subnets కి ఏం చేశాడు, he is assigned the subnets to availability zones. సో కంప్లీట్ VPC రేంజ్ ని 2 subnets గా డివైడ్ చేసి ఆ 2 subnets ని ఒక్కొక్క అవైలబిలిటీ జోన్ కి అసైన్ చేశాడు. అండ్ he had a router with it and internet gateway for getting the internet that is connected to internet. ఆ router లో he has written a rules. ఈ రూల్స్ ఏంటి అంటే 0.0.0/0 అంటే ఈ ఇంటర్నెట్ గేట్వే నుంచి ఏవైతే ఇంటర్నెట్ వస్తుందో ఆ ఇంటర్నెట్ అన్ని ఈ ల్యాన్ లో ఉన్న ఈ VPC లో ఉన్న ఇన్స్టెన్సెస్ కి అలో చెయ్యి అని అర్థం. దిస్ రూల్ The first rule ఏంటి అంటే 172.31.0.0/16 ఏంటి అంటే whatever the IP addresses, whatever the servers that we launch in this LAN should communicate with each other locally. అందుకే target is local. They'll communicate. First ఏంటి LAN లో ఉన్న servers communicate అవ్వాలి with each other. For that he has written the first rule. Second rule is to get the internet to the servers, he has written a rule that internet gateway should allow the internet to the servers. I forgot to show the route tables, right? Here are the route tables. For Mumbai, it's like click on it, routes. Under the routes, you can see first e route table ki a subnets associate ayi unnai. No, I don't have any subnets associated. Ikkada available subnets chupistunnai gaani I don't have. First I have to edit it. Edit and attach the subnets. Pull on, click. Rendu subnets unnai. Ade VPC. Save it. Now I attach the subnets to this router. You can see in the diagram also. Where is the diagram? Did I close the diagram? Here it is. So he's attaching this router to these two subnets. అందుకే green color attachment chips. How we will do that? By going to the router, going to the subnets and choosing which router. EVPC attach in a router. For that router also is given a unique ID. We'll go to the subnets and we'll attach the subnets to this, and next we'll write a routing principles. First routing principle ఏంటి అంటే by default he has written local గా ping అవ్వాలి, next internet gateway రావాలి. If you had a scenario like you had attached the virtual private gateway for making a VPN connection, again you have to come here in this routing principle and you have to allow that virtual private gateway. Here you have to add a new rule saying that what is that customer gateway LAN range 192.168.0/24 and ఎక్కడి నుంచి రావాలి ఆ గేట్వే వర్చువల్ అంటే VGW అని ఇక్కడ చూపిస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు లేదు కాబట్టి ఈ రీజియన్లో చూపించట్లేదు. ఉన్న రీజియన్స్లో I'll show you. I'll go to Singapore. So for Singapore, for which VPC I had VPN connections, this VPC. EVPC I had VPN connections. Going to this route tables of this VPC, coming to route tables, what are the rules I had? These are the rules. First is every computer within that local should communicate with each other. Second is for every computer should get internet from this internet device. Third is every computer should communicate with this UK region. In UK region and na UK LAN. Akkada idi na India LAN. So I'm telling this router to listen the traffic that comes from this range and this range. Okay, like it will create the route tables. So you can find everything in clear with screenshots with very good explanations in these documentations. Kaakapothe the thing is that you have to read all these 221 pages to understand it very deeply. If you seriously, if you read this documentation, you like play with this VPC service. So he'll detail with best practice scenarios, pricing enti, cost enti, and everything. See what is the cost he's charging. Just go type AWS VPC pricing. ఎంత ప్రైస్ చార్జ్ చేస్తున్నాడు తన VPCకి అంటే enter into this VPC service pricing. So he is charging $0.05 per hour. A VPN connection ఉంటుందా? A tunnel between this both gateways. This tunnel, where is that? For this tunnel, this VPN tunnel, he is charging $0.005 per hour. అన్ని రీజియన్స్ కి, కానీ టోక్యో రీజియన్ కి మాత్రం $0.0048. ఓకే, And apart from that, he is charging some amount for data transmission also per GB. That is for tunnel creation and establishing a tunnel. And this amount is for whatever the GB of data you transmit. $0.059 for he'll charge for every GB that you transfer through this tunnel. ఇది చాలా cheap price అండి when you compare with setting up this kind scenarios with traditional data centers. Okay, this is how you can see the pricing details. ఏదన్నా for example EC2 server pricing అన్న AWS EC2 instances అంటారు. We'll call the services instances pricing. Here it is https aws.amazon.com/e2/pricing. ఈ పైన we don't add advertisement URLs. Don't open this advertisement URLs. See, under free tier you will get 750 hours of EC2 Linux t2.micro type instance for free. ఇవన్నీ పోగా కాస్ట్ ఇక్కడ. First choose the region. Okay, I wanted to see the cost at Mumbai. In Mumbai, for one virtual CPU and 512 MB RAM server ki he is charging only ఇది compute అండి. Compute ki he is charging $0.0095 per hour. ఈ compute ki storage ఉంటుంది కదా. What will call that storage? I'll ask somebody. What is the storage name Ravi that we attach for this compute? Hello? Ravi, are you there?
Yes, yes, Karthik.
So what is the storage name that we attach for this compute? Kishore, what is the storage name that we attach for this compute? Guys, I said you on the last class, it's elastic block storage, right? We created volumes.
Yes, yes, Karthik.
So even here also is indicating EBS, elastic block storage only you can attach for this storage, this type of instances. I said two types of storages, elastic block storage లో SSD volumes, HDD volumes. దాంట్లో 3 types ఉంటుంది. General purpose, provisioned purpose, magnetic. Buddy, please offer the class, go through all these things. Types of storage, two types go into normal. What is the difference between this is the first normal general class. After that I have told you, right? Let me showcase you going directly into the console part. Right click, open in new tab, and we'll go for EC2 service. Under the EC2 service, here instances, for every instance ఇవన్నీ available instance, for what instances what are the storage we attached అని we'll get the information from here, volumes. See, for this instance, ఈ instance ki, so let us say web server. For this web server, what I did, what is the storage I have attached? What is the web server ID? This is what the ID of my instance. Copy this unique ID and go for volumes. ఇక్కడ volumes లో ఆ ID వెతకండి. So for that web server I have two drives. రెండు హార్డ్ డిస్క్లు అటాచ్ చేశానండి ఆ సర్వర్కి, ఆ కంప్యూట్కి. ఒకటి 110 GB, ఒకటి 50 GB. ఓకే చూడండి. For this hard disk, for every GB he is charging Where is that pricing? Yeah, this is EC2 pricing. For compute, he is charging that price. For EBS pricing, EBS pricing, he is charging zero. Let me open you EBS pricing. For every region ki change అవుతుంటుంది EBS pricing కూడా. No region dependency లేదు EBS pricing ki. He'll charge you if you go with general purpose. He'll charge you 0. Oh, region dependency ఉంది. I'll go with Singapore, right? Mumbai for every GB he is charging 0.114 dollars for SSD. నాకేంటి నా వెబ్ సర్వర్ ఏంటి ఇక్కడ? What is my web server? This is GB2 అంటే general purpose provision. Where is the general purpose? So this is what general purpose SSD. I had an SSD drive with my ఎందుకంటే వెబ్సైట్ కదా ఫాస్ట్ రిట్రైవల్ ఉండాలి అని. So per GB he is charging this. You can I said about you this S3 calculator for you. S3 calculator. From this S3 calculator you can see the charges. You can estimate the charges. Choose the region. First A region low. We'll go with Mumbai region, right? Mumbai region. Choose the region. Second, first add compute. In EC2, in S3, different services pricing we can support. First I'll go with EC2. Add new row. What is that web server, right? Or anything. You can type anything. How many instances? One instance. For 100 complete 1 month వాడుతాను instance నేను. What is the type of that instance? T2.small, T2 or something like that. T2.small. What is with operating system? Windows or Linux? Oh, Windows operating system. Windows or Linux means Linux. Close and save. For this he is charging $27 per month only for this compute. And storage ki ఎంత హార్డ్ డిస్క్ అటాచ్ చేశారు? So this is dedicated storage. Sorry. EBS volumes కదా. GB2 నేను ఎంత ఒకటి 50 and ఒకటి 110 కదా 160 GB అటాచ్ చేశాను. See 27 plus. So I was paying $42 for that maintaining the web server. That web server and instance I was paying $42 and I had elastic IP and data transmit. Overall I was charging $50 per month for maintaining that server. Okay, like this we'll estimate the calculates. లేదు regional pricing ఎంత ఉందో చూడాలంటే go for billing and cost management. From here we can see what is the real charges that occurred on the previous month or previous hour and everything. I'll tell you there is one class for that. I'll tell you in detail on the class. Okay, for today's that's it. So we'll end this class. Any doubts, guys? Assume no doubts. If you had anybody, you can share me. You can ask me. Okay, I assume this is all clear. I was not getting any response from you. Okay, guys, we'll stop this session for today now, and we'll continue at the same time on tomorrow. Okay, bye bye and have a nice day.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Garthi.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes, bye.